Welcome to the Freight Agent Insider Podcast, hosted by Levi Van Pay.
And welcome to Freight Agent Insider, everybody. I'm LVP, your host, here for another exciting, riveting episode. Reminder, if you haven't, please like, subscribe, find us on Spotify, YouTube. New show every Monday, 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Every episode, we're featuring a different successful freight agent, and today is very interesting. Nic Spears, thank you for joining me, man.
Hey, Levi, I appreciate the invite, brother. Thank you.
Great to have you, dude. Great to have you, Nick. I've been connected with you for a while on LinkedIn.
Right.
You were one of the whales I was targeting from the beginning of this, because I thought you have a very interesting story coming from the trucking side of the industry, and you've been in the industry for, I think, almost 20 years. And it's interesting for me because I actually also got my start in the industry on the trucking side. I was not a driver. I was on the more hated end of the spectrum as a driver recruiter,
Okay.
but
Gotcha.
I very close with drivers. So yeah, man, with that said, I'd love to hear, and everybody I'm sure would love to hear, how you got your start in the industry, even before you became a driver. Like, how did you become a driver? And then more importantly, how did you make the transition from driver to freight agent?
Okay. First off, again, thanks for inviting me. Glad to be here and talk ship, right? So
Glad to have you.
yeah. So basically, I've been in logistics for quite a long time. Started in the Air Force, logistics, and once I got out the Air Force, I got into truck driving. I just love trucks ever since I was a kid. I never really thought I'd go ahead and pull that trigger, but leaving out the Air Force, I needed a career, and that was a move, and did 20 years. And a couple years ago, before COVID, I just noticed some changes were going on, and I kind of always kind of look ahead. Vision. I don't want to say a visionary, but maybe I am a visionary to a degree, and I just seen a lot of
A
changes,
little bit.
different things going on. I said, you know what? It's time to get out this driver's seat. So what can I do that I can use this knowledge that I have to, continue on? And I said, you know what? I'm gonna dabble being a freight broker, because most drivers, including myself at one time, we don't really like freight brokers, right? But I said, you know what? I can come in. Yeah, I can come in and be that differentiary in that space, somebody that can be real relatable, and I actually know what's going on, and I know what I'm doing, and I know how people want to get treated, and I know how good business is supposed to operate, and here I am.
And I imagine, I think a lot of brokers talk about knowing how to deal with customers, knowing how to talk to customers. But I think equally as important, and Nick, you're the expert here, but being able to talk to carriers and speak the language has to be on that same level, right?
Right. Oh, of course. And I really try to use that as my one-up advantage. Sometimes I think that it might work, and other times, it kind of falls flat on its face. But I think that's just my that's my difference right there. Because you don't have many brokers wanting to be truck drivers. You have some truck drivers wanting to be brokers. But yeah. So.
Was it hard making that move after, being in the truck as long as you were and deciding, yeah, I'm going to make this jump, I'm going to become a broker? It had to have been daunting in the beginning, thinking, like, wow, getting customers is harder than I thought. Was there a moment that you can point to that, maybe you second guessed what you were doing? Maybe you said, maybe this isn't what I'm meant to do. Or was it always just, I'm going to figure this out one way or another?
Well, it was always I'm gonna figure it out one way or another because I'm not going back. I refuse to go back. But it's definitely been a journey to say the least. When I first came in, I was balls to the wall. I was gung ho, and I started off really good, and then not too long after that, things got a little shaky, and then that's when I was kind of second guessing myself. And man, is this really something I can do and pull off? And even now, sometimes to this day, sometimes always in the back of my head, when things aren't going right, like, what am I doing out here? But I just dig deep, and my spirit still tells me to stay here and stay in this position. So I'm just staying here and staying put and doing work and letting God do what He needs to do. So
That's right. That's right, man. I love that. And I think your mindset, and this is probably something a lot of younger brokers can relate to or should try to emulate, is not quitting, not giving up. It's
yeah,
really hard to get into this, especially early on. It's it's the snowball is very small at the top of the mountain, just kicking it off and getting the momentum going and growing. That's the hardest part is starting.
oh,
So I
definitely,
think you can speak to that.
definitely. That mindset is key. It's so key. One thing that has helped me in this space before I took this journey was I got into the gym. I started getting
Mm,
into fitness and living this healthy lifestyle, me and my wife, and that has definitely helped me along the way. If I can do that and slowly wait on the results for that to come through, then I can do this, because freight brokering, this is a long game. Trucking is a long game. Transportation is a long game. It's based on relationships. Uh, People come into this space and they want everything what I call microwaves. They want it quick, right? But you
mm.
gotta go into the oven.
Right.
You gotta go into the oven and let that thing bake a little bit, and then pull it out, and it's tastier, right? So
I love that.
that's just kind of how I look at it.
I love that, man. That's I've never heard it put like that, but
Okay, all right,
that is excellent. That is
yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
So I mean, you speak to like getting off to a hot start. Something I wanted to ask you, and I think this is extremely important, especially coming from the side of the industry where you weren't necessarily dealing with customer acquisition. What are maybe three tips off the top of your head that you could give to the younger generation of brokers? Or maybe there's some experienced guys watching this, guys, gals watching this as well, that just want to try something different. So, as far as customer acquisition, three tips that you have.
Let's see here. Tip number one: um, be authentic, be yourself, right? Because there's
Yes.
nobody out there like you. I really hang on to that one. Be yourself, be authentic. Number one. Number two, you got to be resilient. You just got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing. Um, Number three, uh, faith. You got to have that. You got to have that faith deep down inside.
Bless.
You know something's gonna happen. You just got to have that faith, and you got to put yourself out there. Because if I didn't put myself out there, me and you wouldn't be talking. Other people wouldn't be hitting me up, wanting to connect and network, and vice versa, me hitting people up. So you have to put yourself out there too. You can't be
That's
scared.
right. That's right. The first one, I want to go back to that, being authentic. Man, I'm not a broker, but I can say with confidence that authenticity has gotten me to, and I'm nothing special, but it's gotten to me to the point that I'm at now. Whether it's doing this podcast, trying something new, heck, even getting into the agent space was something that I never saw myself doing. I fell into this because of COVID. I never went to
Oh, really?
school for transportation. No, none of it.
Okay.
Authenticity, though, it's so paramount on your journey, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
doesn't matter if you're even in the freight space, but being your true self.
100%. You got to apply that, and just in life in general. I don't. Yeah, like you
That's
said,
right.
I don't care what you're doing. Just authenticity. I'm all for that for sure.
Let's apply that to customer acquisition,
Okay.
authenticity, being yourself. Is there a situation that you can specifically point to where that authenticity that you wear helped you gain a customer, a large customer?
Oh, definitely. Um, and one of my things that I do, um, I go through the mail. Right. Everybody's calling.
Hmm.
Everybody's emailing. Everybody's DMing, but nobody's going through the mail.
And what do you got going on with those, Nick?
Nobody's standing out. That's just something to stand out and be creative and keeping people at the top of mind. You could be the 25th caller of the day, and they're just trying to hurry up and get you off the phone, or you could get one of my black boxes here, and you open this up. You don't know what's inside. You're curious now. That's the thing. You got to get people curious. And even with all that being said, you could do everything right and still not get the deal. So sometimes it comes down to timing, the market, the economy. It's so many factors that's involved with this, so.
Can I ask what you might include in the black box? Because I know that's that's what everybody's wondering right now. What is the secret sauce?
Well, it's funny you say that because for the longest, I didn't really want to put it out there. And then probably, I don't know, a couple weeks, I made a post and I actually put it out there. But what's in there, just some brand merch,
I
but
love that. Wow.
it's a stress ball, but it's a stress truck, I guess you could say, right? Right.
That's brilliant.
So, you could do that, but this is mine, this is my idea, but you can do that. Everybody's going to get
Yeah.
different results, You
Yeah.
could do it and get a brand new customer. You could do it and you might not. It's just luck of the draw, but just
That's
something.
right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Showcase your personality. I think it goes right back to the authenticity piece of this. One that I had, and I've never done this before, but I can guarantee you it will probably work if it fits you. But sending a card, you can get these off of Vistaprint. There's probably a million places that you can get this set up, but
I'm familiar with it.
send a card. Here's one that I want you guys to try. Nick, you try this one and let me know if this works for you.
Okay.
Send a card in the shape of a foot. It's a shape of a foot, and it says inside there, "Hey, just trying to get a foot in the door with you. Let me move your freight." Something to that effect. What do you think? Is that a gold mine right there, or is that the dumbest thing you've ever heard?
No, I did that too. I beat you to it. Matter of fact. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
My ideas aren't as original as I thought, I guess. That's hilarious.
As a matter of fact, I'll give you a hand while I'm at it. You get what I'm saying? I got all kinds of stuff, and I really try to be, again, creativity.
That's it, man. There's no shortage of good ideas. Showcase yourself, showcase your personality, and let the authentic you shine through to your customers. They're people too. They want to work with real people. They don't want to work
Right.
with robots.
That's right.
That is hilarious. I'm stuck on that. All right, Nick, we will transition to our next segment. This one is always fun, horror stories and pitfalls that, you as an agent, as a successful agent, preface that. I don't know if I've met a successful agent that hasn't had some sort of pitfall or horror story that almost derailed everything.
Oh,
And I know you've got a couple. What do you got that the younger brokers out there or the established brokers out there, something that they can avoid that, hey, this is what I went through. Don't do that.
I guess the number one thing, double broker, right?
Mm.
I've been double broker before. Luckily, it was caught. That was probably one of the most moments that I've had was that part right there. But luckily, caught it and everything went good. And truthfully, that's really the worst thing that's probably happened. I've never had any theft or fraud or anything like that. Just a double brokering situation. That would probably, again, if you're moving freight, I don't care how good you are, if you're new, seasoned, things happen. Things happen, and that'd probably be the number one thing right there. Probably that right there.
Is there any way that, something that system you've developed in order to avoid double brokering? Does a lot of that just go back to the brokerage that you're working with and the carrier development that they establish to make sure that you're not running into those issues? Or is it more of what you have to do on the front end, cradle to grave, to make sure it doesn't happen?
The front end, cradle to grave, because everything has to go through me, because I'm handling everything. Acquisition, finding people, doing the paperwork, check calls. I'm doing everything except some of the back end because I have a factoring company, right? So they handle that part, but everything else is it's all on me. So yeah, definitely vetting is key. You have so many tech platforms out there nowadays. What I've seen come in the industry within the last couple of years is just is mind blowing how many tech this and tech that, right? Um, but I think it really comes down to the fundamentals, the experience that I have, just certain things like going with my gut, asking certain questions that I know, okay, this guy's lying, he's full of shit, or okay, this guy's legit. That's just from me being in the industry, just going off the experience that I got, right? So that part right
Yeah.
there.
Are you using any specific tools, My Carrier Packet, Carrier 411? Are there any like vetting things you're doing specifically to kind of help you out on that front?
Right now, I'm running really lean right now, right? Because it just means I don't need to pay all this money for this and that. So again, just the fundamentals. There are a few I do want to try out when I get a little bit more busier than what I am. But for right now, I'm handling it. One thing I'm doing right now too, pictures. I want pictures of the truck with the MC and everything on the door. I want to see it. I'm asking for pictures now, and I'll talk to my client like, hey, if this truck right here doesn't show up with this on there, don't load it. Call me, and we'll fix this. But I do pictures now. Some people like it, some people don't. But it's my rules, right? I run this. So if you want to do this, and let me just see that you're legit, and you shouldn't have a problem with it, then we'll be good to go. So
And I think you're maybe in a position where your background and probably having a ton of trusted carriers that you already knew plays a factor into this as well. There's probably somebody in every state you have a load moving to or from where you know a driver and you can plug them in.
sure. Now I don't know everybody. Again, I'm still working. I'm still getting my stuff out the mud. As we speak right now. But definitely, I try to do a pretty thorough job. And just use the fundamentals. Because the tech platforms, don't they're good, right? But you could have one tech platform that's saying that this carrier is good, but if you could have another one that's saying it's not good. So then what do you do? And now you're paying all these money for these subscriptions. And then again, that's where it goes just back to the fundamentals. The fundamentals, it's the foundation. You can't build nothing on a shaky foundation. If you have that foundation down as good as solid, then 9 times out of 10, you'll be good to go.
Something that you talked about, running the show. You are your own boss. I think myself, there's a lot of other agent recruiters that we've seen a large uptick in W-2 brokers trying to make the transition to agency because they want to make a larger split and just operate everything themselves. And that's the beauty of the agent model is the 3PL, the brokerage, they're handling all of the back office. They're doing all of that. And it's like they're the battery pack that's powering the business of the agents. Um, but specifically for those W-2 brokers, what do you point to maybe help them with the idea of making this transition and being their own boss? Because this is something that I was thinking about earlier, Nick, is nobody really talks about how success in itself can be very intimidating.
Oh, for
The
sure.
idea of becoming successful is intimidating, but becoming an agent, there's a lot of steps to it. So is there anything that you could kind of lend as advice to those W-2 personnel trying to transition?
You just got to go for it. Don't be scared. I come into this from a completely different sector. So if you're a W-2, you really already kind of really have the game. You got the knowledge. It's just you're scared to just put your foot in the water and just because everything falls on you. You're used to that, the comfortability and the stability, what that job has to offer. But when you come out here, everything is all on you. So you really have to keep that in mind. And if you're doing pretty good at a W-2 and you got some customers and you know how to handle yourself, step out. You're gonna be doing the same thing you're doing for that company, but you're doing it for yourself, and you're raking in 100% of the profits for yourself, which is part of the reason why I did this. Because I could have went and joined and become an agent for another company or went to a W-2 or something like that, but I said nah. I just have too much knowledge and too much experience. It's time for me to make my own way and call the shots and do how I want to do it, and that's where I'm at. So that's what I got for that.
Yeah, that's great advice. There was an agent that I had onboarded, um, and she shot me a text the other day, and she said, I mean, she's only been doing this for a couple months, and she said that I've already made more money as an agent than I did the entire last year on the W-2 side, and I'm doing half the work.
See, perfect example right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, don't get me wrong, but if you have the ability, if you don't have the restrictions, the non-competes, the non-solicits, maybe some
Yeah.
NDAs or something, it's worth at least looking into.
And that's another reason why I didn't want to go that route, because I know all about that, and I'm not signing none of that. I'm not doing none of that.
Yeah, you don't want to sign your life away. It's not gonna benefit you in the long run. All right, Nick, we'll transition to our last segment here. This is gonna be some off the cuff
Yeah.
trivia.
Let's go.
A little bit of trivia, man. We're gonna put your knowledge to the test. There's some carrier stuff in here. There's some broker stuff in here, and these are all questions given to me by Grok. So I don't know what we got. Could be some softballs. It could be hard. If you don't know the answer to a question, we're gonna do this in a 1-minute bit. If you don't know the answer, you can say skip it, on to the next one.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do. We're gonna try to get as many questions in as we can in 1 minute.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, man. Here we go. You ready?
Let's roll.
All right, man. Question 1. What's a common freight payment term?
25 days.
I got cash on delivery. Yours sounds good. What's a major import to the U.S.?
Protein.
I got electronics. Protein is good too. What's a freight broker's network?
His net worth.
Like that. Grok says carrier network. What's the term for fast shipping?
Skip.
Expedited. What's a key logistics metric?
Rates.
That's correct. What's a common freight damage cause?
Say that one more time.
A common freight damage cause. What is a major U.S. freight airport?
Memphis.
The answer is Memphis. Yeah, great job there, man. Memphis International. That was excellent. Really good, Nick.
You had me at a couple there. I had to put my thinking cap on.
Man, so many of these are just open-ended. It could be a million different answers, but the Memphis one was spot on. That was great.
They really could be.
We'll wrap this up, Nick. Any parting words of wisdom for anybody listening out there? Anything at all that you got?
To be a broker it's rewarding, but it's hard at the same time. At least in my eyes. Some people might do this and they might, this is, this climate, this atmosphere, these last few years, it's rough. And if you're out here in the field, then you know what I'm talking about. But you just gotta keep at it. You gotta keep going, because things will get better. It's worse, but things always get better. And trucking is always ebbs and flows to it. And we just waiting for the rebound like everybody is, So yeah, just keep the faith.
It's coming.
Keep the faith and keep going. Keep God first, and yeah, that's all I got.
That's great. Thanks again, Nick. Reminder to everybody: please like, subscribe, find us on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. Click that little bell icon so you can get alerts to the episode drops, and the shorts on YouTube, LinkedIn as well. Nick, thank you again, man. It was a blast. We had some great moments there. It was awesome.
I appreciate it, man. It was fun. We should do another. Come back. I'll do another one.
Oh, we will. We will. The comeback, episode 2. Thanks again, Nick. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye now.